Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you all. Thank you for joining me on this exciting podcast. And as you can see, I've made a little change to the setup. I've adjusted the lighting because I've got a lot of complaints about lighting crap and all this thing. So I made a little change. So just let me know if you like it or not. And if you don't, do one. Anyway, so guys, today I have with me, he is known as Muhammad Ali, and he's calling him a builder, I think, would be an honest statement. He's been a very influential figure, but also, I'm also going to add a controversial issue as a controversial individual within the community. Now, I'm going to apologize now because this is going to be a lot about Oldham. Now, I do want to make it very mainstream and for the wider community, but due to the guest I have today, it's going to be a lot about Oldham, and let's see if we can add some value, what we can replicate or use for the wider community to, I don't know, be aware of. So, moving along, today I have Muhammad Ali Bicep. He's my brother, that's why. He's my elder brother, so from now on I'm going to call him Bicep, yeah? And Bicep, how you doing?
Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing? Okay.
For coming on the podcast, yeah? How you doing?
Alhamdulillah, good.
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
it's unique. So I'm not used to live speaking.
Yeah,
Oh.
I've been meaning to get you on the podcast. Now, you've advised me that you want to come later.
Yes, when you first devised the idea of doing a podcast and you text me, like, do you like to have me on your show?
Yeah.
Yeah. I said to you, don't. Not yet.
Why?
You needed better guests than me.
Wh-
More
wh-
humble guests
wh-
than
Why
me.
did that matter?
Because I didn't want your show to be tainted because of my character or what people perceive to be my character or what people say about me. And I didn't want you to be associated with me in that respect. I don't want you to be tarnished in that respect.
No, why did that matter? I don't see a problem with that. But anyway,
You might not see that.
I respected your
I'm
issue.
I'm your big brother.
Yeah,
My
true.
first job is to look
So
after
hence
you.
why I listened. Yeah. I listened and I obeyed, and if this is like what you feel comfortable with, then that's fine. I have no problem with that. But we just before we put the cameras on, we spoke a lot about with a lot of stuff.
Yes, we did.
We spoke about more than we should. I think it's about an hour that we spoke beforehand. So if you feel that we're just jumping into conversations that you don't understand, I'll try to clarify some of the things and try to keep it neutral for the viewers to follow through.
Yeah.
Let's begin with what you do, because you are quite outspoken on Facebook. You talk about quite a lot of stuff about your building work and paperwork and all these things. Why do you do that?
First and foremost, I've been very fortunate in my upbringing in Oldham. So, paperwork is one thing about our community is accountability in of oneself. First and foremost, oneself, and then in the wider community is lacking. Yeah,
Meaning,
that we're so easy to show a face to the world that is fabricated or is I call it the gold taps and mascara. So we put a face on for social media for the world to see, but behind the scenes there's no accountability. So I'm very, very fortunate. Alhamdulillah, I have been blessed with a beautiful upbringing, and we've gone through a lot of pains. And I said to myself, I do not want any other families to go through that pain.
right? You're speaking to the camera here, which is quite direct.
That's because,
None of my guests have actually done that.
yeah, because I'm not talking about myself.
Okay,
I'm talking to people directly.
guys, this is directly to you guys. Yeah,
you guys.
He's speaking to you guys face to face.
Because there's one thing people say about me. Muhammad Ali is hard to deal with. Muhammad Ali says something and he doesn't do something.
Right. Let's get into that. Yeah, when because I thought, listen, I know you on a not a very personal level, but we've had dealings
Yeah, from afar.
and interactions
Yeah.
from far. Yeah.
From afar.
So when I wanted you on, and somebody asked me that, listen, I want to ask Mohammed Ali to come on thingy, a podcast, you know what I mean? Because he's a very influential individual, right? Also, knowing that you've had some controversies as well, yeah? So it'll be a really good talk to have. People have warned me about you. They've said things that I've heard over the past months about be careful, this and that, and everything else. You know what I mean? That's what I said. All those things don't make sense because I know him to a certain level, and it doesn't make sense. Obviously, number one was that because you're a builder, one of the highlight of controversies that I know of from what I heard is the building work that you're in, and the thing that I've heard is that you've been conning people about the building work that you've got the money and either you didn't do the work or it wasn't good enough or whatever the case was. But the thing is, when people say that, and the people that are saying that, I actually know them as well personally. So I'm trying to question their integrity, your integrity, and they're honest based on what I know. You're honest based on what I know. Like, where do I go? Like, how do I decide? How do I find out the truth? What is the truth? You know what I mean? Because I know both you or the other people as well on a personal level.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, everybody
What's
knows
going
everybody.
on?
We're in Oldham.
We're in Oldham, yeah, it's just
Everybody
true.
knows everybody.
Everybody
Knows everybody. However, what everybody doesn't know is everybody's true characters.
Yeah.
What they've given, what people were presented, or said about me, is their side of events.
Of course, yeah.
Of course, which is only fair.
Yeah.
We have to be fair and just, remember. But what you've got to see is you're going to get their side of ignorance as well. Because what would happen is you're dealing with finances. And you're dealing with...
It's always a tough topic to bring up with people as well,
What?
with clients or customers.
So I'm not just about a builder. I'm actually talking about the financial interactions with people. Because to me, the first home is a masjid. The first home, because I deal within the Oldham community, there's a massive major population of Muslims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I directly think of them. If I can, first, your charity starts from home. That's the way I've seen it.
Right.
And I've been very, very fortunate in my upbringing that when we got done over by builders, our businesses covered the
expenses.
expenses.
Right.
And we never went out and said, oh, that builder did this wrong. We never did any of that.
But in this case, it's different.
In this case,
Everybody knows you.
everybody knows me. But what they don't realize is how I do business with people. Because what's happening is they want to bring down. What we're trying to do is level up. We're trying to better society, one step at a time, one brick at a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where the confusion lies. Because people are mixing up and muddling up on processes, manufacturing, rules, regulations, building contracts, building what is required. And that's never ever been addressed in Oldham. Nothing, what I'm doing is never been addressed in Oldham ever.
But in terms of you personally, they're questioning your character and your building methods.
Yeah.
That you've been conning people.
How can they have a condom if I'm still here? And not thinking. This is why I say to him, even before a contract is accepted, I say to customers, this what is written protects yourself and protects me. And when I hear about these allegations made, it's never through the customer. It's always through somebody else. And now, if the customers had issues, they should talk to me directly. What happens is, I do all the dog work,
Okay.
which is all the hard bits, and I realign the building so it falls within building regulations and stuff like that. And that's when the customers don't want to pay their second installments, third installments, and stuff like that. That's where the issue starts. They get me to do all the hard work, which is not only the structural, physical elements of the build itself, but the dealing with the building inspector, dealing with all that stuff, and making sure structurally what we're going to install.
Isn't that part of the job anyway?
There's many methods. That's the problem. There's not one route. It's actually several.
Okay.
And when we agree on one thing, it's the most simplest application, which is permitted within the regulations.
Okay.
However, when a job starts and things go different,
Right.
that's when the differences start. But what I do is I push the job through. And I say, listen, these are the differences. That's when people's true colours come up because they don't want to pay with the differences. So I call it the Fossa Bengali contracts. What they do is get middlemen in that I have no idea, who've not spoken to me. They do these 8, 9, 10 o'clock evening conversations. And I'm like, what?
Where they get
Where
where
they
they
get
get a
outside-
second opinion.
Where they get outside counsel.
Okay.
None of them are competent at what they're talking about.
Right.
Is that they'll just say money, money, money. I'm like, look at the paperwork, look at the work, look at what's changed, because now you're in civil, civil what's the word? You're dealing with civil matters. You're dealing with legal matters. You're dealing with the deeds of the house.
Okay.
You are now, as a reputable somebody that is responsible of a person's home, you have to cover yourself, and you have to conduct yourself accordingly. And because people don't like that, and now you're now putting the responsibility back on them, and say these are the different changes and these are the rules and regulations according to that one, they don't want to hear that. They think you're bypassing. I'm like, no. None of the issues that I've ever come across was with building inspectors or structural engineers. The people that are going to sign who are going to insure the job eventually. It's always been some Abdul down the road who's got nothing to do with anything. What's Abdul down the road and his opinion and his valuation of something got to do with me and that homeowner?
Okay.
Can you see? If you go buy a car with a 3-pointed star and I don't like how much you paid because my blue and white emblem was a couple of grand cheaper, what kind of conversation we're going to have? And you go then take it back to the manufacturer. Because my background is all manufacturing and science and commercial. Because now I'm doing domestic residential. I'm bringing in accountability. They don't like that. That's why I always say,
I'm a little confused now.
you will be confused. Because unless I give you and present a real life example, for example, scenario, not hypothetical.
Yeah.
Then it's going to be, there's too many variables.
Can you give me, because there was a lot of, and sorry myself for bringing it up.
No,
because
go for it.
That's
Go
the
for it.
topic of the town, I think. Apparently, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that there was specific incidences where a lot of elders and community leaders were getting involved to settle this dispute between two parties. You know what I mean? Like it was that big of a deal.
Well, I'm 41 years old. Yeah.
You don't look
I'm
it,
41
man.
years old. And from the age of 18, everything I've ever done has always been under the microscope of Oldham. So the elders that you call elders,
There's a lot of pressure, man.
why should it be?
You've been on the people's microscope for a long time.
Of course we are. Look at my DNA.
Your father.
Yeah.
Your father was a
No,
very...
not only my father.
What?
My uncles, my aunties, my mother, you.
What did I do?
We all have a responsibility on one another.
Yeah, but besides that point, specifically, your father, your family have always been the sort of forefront or the influential figures of Oldham.
No, influential was people. That's a slightly different topic. Yeah. Let's simplify it. Let's simplify it.
Okay, go on.
If we talk about the building side only, we can simplify it. I've always said, if you fall out, if you do not feel that I've provided my service that's been correct, yeah, then please bring in the architect, the people that are competent, yeah, such as the professionals, which is the architect, which is the structural engineer, which is the building inspector, and we'll go through them. Don't bring Abdul down the road. Don't bring Tom, Dick and Harry, and don't bring another builder into the conversation, because they do not have a clue about your job.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
Because they're not
I think
insuring your work. All they want to do is devalue your workmanship.
That's the way you should do it. That's the way it is being done, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Which bit? Hold
But
on. Clarify to the people. Which bit did you agree with? Which bit?
I agree with that. If you want to show the facts and the truth, then you get somebody who's a professional or architect, etc., to confirm and approve the specs that have been that you applied based on the blueprints.
Yeah, that should be. That's the way it
yeah,
should be
it
done.
should be right. So where does it go wrong with the homeowner? Why the homeowner going to a third party trying to get counsel?
You tell me.
I have no idea.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Even I don't have no idea.
Because
When I showed them eventually in the building regulation, the black and white building regulations, this is where the Abduls, the three Abduls, will eventually come into this scenario. Yeah.
let's not mention the names. Yeah.
No. That's hence the reason why I said the three Abduls.
The three Abduls.
The three Abduls. Yeah. The three amigos. We'll say the three amigos.
The three
yeah?
amigos,
The three the Yeha amigos. Yeah. We'll talk about 2022 because 2023
Yes, it was a massive thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Massive.
Believe me,
massive.
that.
All I can see on Facebook, yeah, just you and
Me.
the back and forth dialogue between two parties, you know.
And I said anybody, and I even said them. I will come alone to every bisat. You bring on 1,000 men.
I remember that challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, and they still everybody has, and every 1,000 of them have now walked away. Every one of them. Not because of my ego,
Because of your confidence, isn't it?
not because of my confidence,
What then?
because of the truth.
Truth, exactly. Hence why
Because someone's confident and I can outspeak you, doesn't make it right. People just get fed up.
Okay.
People are, you know what's the worst? What's happening with social media and now on the shit. People are angry with me. They're fed up with me. Even I'm fed up with me.
There was a lot going on.
There is still got a lot going on
Probably behind the scenes.
behind the scenes, and I
But
kept it
last
behind.
year there was a lot going on.
Last year was a benefit.
It was hard to follow, man.
Of course. Last year was
So much
was the
truth misconstrued and facts here and there. You know what I mean?
now you're asking the right
And
questions.
even I was doubting. I thought, oh my God, what's going on?
No, of course.
Like, is he that individual who cons people? Like, there was a number that I heard that he conned 10 grand. I go, hold on a minute, he's still alive in Oldham. How can that be truthful? 'Cause
Exactly.
he's got a reputation to uphold as well.
Exactly.
Because if he did that, that means he should be put on the stake. Yeah,
I know. That was
killed.
the beautiful thing about things like that was it's now unchained me. Because remember, like I said, look at my DNA. What is my lineage? What beauties did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestow upon me that I would now throw that back in people's faces? Did I ever need to go into the building trade?
No, he didn't. Because
I didn't
you were in the.
All of us were studying. Alhamdulillah, out of all the 9 kids, Dad sacrificed himself to pose all through university.
Right. Because you mentioned Dad, your father. Talk about him a bit, so the viewers know who and what he was.
To the viewers,
Yeah.
if I have to introduce Dad to you lot, then you guys are truly blinded. However,
They're not always from Oldham, by the
they
way.
don't always have to be in Oldham. But look how I introduced that to the world just now. Think about it logically.
For the sake of the viewers, let's not go behind and go become all philosophical. Just be straight and say, who's your father? What did he represent?
What was Dad to you?
He was a friend of my father. He was a friend of my father, that's all. I was a young kid,
It
man.
doesn't matter.
I was a young kid.
Did your dad ever come home and say, I've had a bad interaction with Muhammad Ali's father?
No.
Did he ever come home empowered in a beauty where he's like, I feel at peace?
My family, where I lived, wasn't part of that community that you belong.
Doesn't matter. I didn't answer about the community.
Right.
I'm talking about
So
your
there's
your
not a lot-
dad's interaction.
There's not a lot of interactions that my family has had with that community. Let's say, because it was obviously we had a bunch of community in Oldham, say Westward, Bangla Farel, whatever it is. I was always the outsider.
Okay.
So hence why I'm not fully aware of all the families and the influential and the politics that got.
I didn't ask about any of that, did I? I didn't ask. We cut out all the BS, and I asked you about your interaction with
Your
dad
father
and
to
my
me, your father to me personal level, right, was my friend's father.
Yep. Because
So my friend's father, who owned Shumra business, who owned
Shamia.
the Shamia, and who had a lot of reputation, no, who demanded a lot of respect.
Demand.
Not demanding, meaning his
And
his reputation
yeah. But did
demanded a
it,
lot of respect. You know what
there
I
you
mean?
go. See, you
That's
have
what I
to.
mean.
This is it. You know, we're coming down to it. Is why
Oh,
I'm such a controversial figure.
let me-
Because I'm correcting you the way you're
let me,
presenting it.
let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm
No, I'm
saying.
not going to let you finish a sentence if the sentence is constructed wrong.
I agree. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm correcting there. So his reputation demanded a lot of respect. He deserved respect because that's the individual. If somebody didn't, obviously whatever, I forget that. Yeah, anyway, so I only saw that. Why and how and who he was, what he was, is I'm sort of clueless about that.
No, that's fine.
So for the viewers, if I'm not aware, for the viewers, don't expect the viewers to know.
No, that's
Imagine they don't know who the father is, who you are. Just pretend like that, yeah?
No. First of all, we're putting
who is your father?
Yeah, the whole reason why we had this little bit of conversation is
Yeah.
this is where people find it hard to deal with Muhammad Ali. And the guy, you sit down and talk to him. You asked me a question, and I was looking for the humanity side of it. When people see me and my family, they see the materialistic side of
We'll
stuff.
break it down. We'll break it down. We'll
No.
get to there because
Yeah,
it is a podcast and you're not here for 10 minutes. So we'll break it down.
Yeah.
Yeah? Slowly.
So that from 19, we'll call it from 1986. My uncles would be better. My mum would say better because I was born in 1981 in Lincoln. Me and my big sister, and then my second sister, Yusuf,
Yeah.
was born in Scarborough in 1982.
Mention the name, but it's alright.
Yeah. Oh, sugar. Sorry. My bad. Yeah. So I'm theoretically from 1988. We're in Oldham, Featherstone Road. Before then, I think we hijacked a few. We were like travellers, Scotland, blah blah blah. Anyway, when Dad established Shulma, back in 1989-90, I believe, we established ourselves on Featherstone Road as one of the most prominent Indian restaurants, and there were some before that, but Dad became known and respected because of how he conducted himself within the community. He never ever got involved in anybody's business. People came to him for counsel. And this is the first word I'm going to use, counsel. Not C-O... How do you spell counselor? C-O-U-N-C-I.
A-R,
Yeah. But there's another word, counsel.
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
C-I-L.
No. C-O-N.
At the end, C-I-L.
Counsel. C-O-U-N-S-E-L.
You're spot here, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I never was at school anyway.
No, you asked a question about the building side.
You
Yeah.
asked me to
Yeah, council.
spell words out.
Council. Yeah. Because we don't have a thing in it. I'm going to scribble on the wall one day, yeah, and then I'll rebuild it. And then that will be controversy if I don't finish the job, yeah? You pay me in full and I don't do it. Then you've said, this is direct. Anyway.
I'll get a third party.
But counsel,
Okay, go on.
meaning advice.
Advice.
Yeah? But why would Dad, out of other respected, prominent, established elders,
And there were a few out there.
founding fathers of Oldham,
Yeah.
why would they go to Dad the most?
Why?
Because of the way he conducted himself.
Trustworthy.
Trustworthy. Yeah. So whatever you spoke to Dad about stayed with Dad. This is what I said to everybody. You can bring 1,000 men. I'll always come by one. Because you, in the building side, is you invite somebody into your home. Something that you say very, very hard for. And you're asking them to structurally change it. So there's an obligation. There has to be some kind of confidence. There have to be some kind of humility and some kind of responsibility and accountability that the person that you're instructing to come and demolish your home in order to make it bigger, because that is the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're trying to make a better standard of life for your family.
Of course. It's a very
It's a great honor.
it's great honor as well.
Great
yeah.
honor and duty.
And it's not easy just bring in any builder.
Of course.
You know, builder.
I grew up.
that you wanna trust.
I grew up in a 3-bedroom house. 9 of us. Yeah, there was 9 of us
Yeah, mate.
in a 3-bedroom house.
The kitchen as well.
You can say that. We didn't have any carpet in the house. We did have upstairs. We had lino downstairs.
Okay.
And even though the restaurant was doing very, very well, we never got dressed very, very well because we were kids. We would destroy anything that we wore. We would destroy the carpets purely because we were kids.
Yeah, because
Exactly. So why? So what Dad did was he gave back to the community. He gave back to back home because they didn't have all these these blessings. So he shared his blessings with everybody. Well, he didn't ask anything in return. And that's why Dad's loved. Now that's just a basic. I'm keeping it very, very basic.
Of course.
I'm keeping it very. But what?
To know exactly who his father was, is to say that he was just a guy who people came to for counsel is a very, very understatement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and to specify who he was, what he was, it's very difficult to explain.
Exactly.
But we're not gonna get to that anyway, because I wanna just reset the camera. We talked about not enough about your father, but the whole point is that I wanted the people to know where you're coming from, who you are, why are you so influential, why are you, why do people warn me about you, why are you so formidable, why are you such a force that people are only talking from behind the scenes, but when they come in front of you, they go quiet. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to visualize what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
the question that you just posed, because you've got to look at the camera when you ask that. I'm looking
forget
at you
that.
direct.
Forget that. No.
Okay. No.
This is between you and me.
Because this is
the views will watch anyway.
That's a serious question.
Yeah, but
That's a serious
I'll
question.
talk to the
But are
camera
you
when I
talk-
take my own video.
Yeah. So this is the words that you've just used. Those are from other people's mouth, and
Exactly.
you've just phrased.
I
yeah?
can only say
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. We're trying
what I
to
hear.
we're trying to establish. We're
I
trying
want
to
to hear.
establish. Yeah.
I want to hear your
We're
version.
we're not talking about hearsay or theoretical.
Exactly.
These are exact words that you've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've just put in a sentence
No, but
to
These
phrase
are-
to
yeah.
me so I can answer.
these are feelings or sort of interactions that I've received.
Yeah.
And I've made a sentence that could make sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm just presenting to you.
Yeah.
How true or false is it? Somewhat. Who are you? The viewers want to know. Who are you? Why?
Apart from my dad, I'm the son of many things.
Yeah.
What I am is also a philanthropist, meaning that my life experiences and my resources and my abilities, I've chosen to give back to the community. Though you from what the question that you've asked and an outsider looking at, that doesn't sound like it. What I'm saying is,
It does to me, by the way.
What?
Because you're a force to be reckoned with. You are influential. You are, like I said, a philanthropist, and you are somebody who is very vocal as well.
you know,
For the good things, like you talk about
for the good
how-
things,
how-
is that your interpretation?
Yes,
Because
yes,
the question
it's
the question that you asked me was of an outsider, of people that you've heard.
I'm presenting both.
No, make it clear.
What people say about you, I don't see that. But what I do see from you is that you speak a lot about how the council of Oldham could be doing many I don't know, for the lack of word, I can't find it, wrong things that you point out, and you are somehow penalised for it somehow. Does that make sense?
You said council.
Yeah, the council of Oldham.
Council or councillors? Council is just an entity. It's a business.
Right.
Yeah. Councillors are the employees of that
When
business.
I mean council, I mean people who run the council. I don't know. I think they mean the same thing, right?
Now you're asking good questions. This is what I'm tackling.
Well, go on then.
No. Because people need to establish that the council itself as an entity is there to do to be beneficial to the community as a whole.
Right.
Yeah. So it oversees like a big brother.
Okay.
Not big brother's like how much milk you eat, this, that, the other. As a big brother is like when you need an issue, when you need something dealt with that is outside of your means and your resources,
Yeah.
we're here to be lent on. But also we look after the streets, we look after this, we look after the building. We're supposed to be custodians. They're supposed to be the custodians, not a, what's that word called? Not a demonic force that is at the moment.
And you're calling it diplomacy.
Demonic. The word should be diplomacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There isn't diplomacy at the moment. And the people of Oldham are seeing that thanks to social media and other outlets. Because before then, everything was done behind closed doors, smoke screens, and be on the word of a counsellor and his friends. Before, remember, it was airmail. There wasn't much computing. People went to counsellors. Can you sort this paperwork out? Can you do this? Because I got a letter from the council. I need planning done. I need planning permission done.
Right.
People didn't realise that you don't need a counsellor to do any of that. You can do this all by yourself. But this is where it gets juicy. Yeah? This is where it gets juicy. And this is where things will make sense. You asked about Dad. You're looking at one of the princes of Oldham, and I only give that title to myself just to take the mick out of the people I'm going to address right now. Because the people that I'm addressing right now also came to me when they got everything very, very wrong. And you ask who Muhammad Ali is. Muhammad Ali is the one that you call when things are very, very wrong. Very, very wrong, you call Muhammad Ali. Because regardless of what happens, he will lose his thumb, fall through a building and crush his shoulder, dislocated knee that is actually, this knee falls out. Yeah, that's why I've stopped playing football.
Yeah.
I wasn't good at football anyway. I was better at basketball.
Yeah.
But I stopped playing football because of all the injuries I was getting helping other people.
Right.
And but when it came to paying, that's when people started getting all trying to find fault and stuff. What they don't realize is he started a fight with the wrong boy. Because you could forget who my dad is. These counsellors that you see that I talk about a lot more, all started off, and they still are coattails of greater people. Greater because they did better for the community. Greater because they did a lot more beneficial. They weren't perfect. Nobody in this dunya is perfect. We're not meant to be perfect. But they were damn more accountable than what we have today. So, and they were less learned. Think about it logically, yeah? This is why I asked about your dad's interaction with my dad, when you asked about my dad. Yeah? When they first came to this country, they were economic migrants.
Do you even know my dad is?
I have no idea who your dad is.
That's why you're asking.
Yeah. But I'm going off the way your eyes work. This is why I look directly at the camera. This is why I do my Facebook thing is through the camera.
Yeah.
Directly. Because if a man is lying, he will be trying to protect himself. He will be trying to... And if a person's ego is to...
So
Dude, I can't afford to pay for this one, you know what I'm saying? I haven't been paid by my customers. If I could pay for my customers, then I get a road one. You know what I mean? I buy a road.
I'll put it on Facebook. Yeah, you broke my everything. I mean, he went mental and everything.
He went mental. See, he is that bad geezer.
Yeah.
He is that bad guy that we said. Because he come and demolish my house. You paid me to demolish your house, dude. You haven't paid me to put it back together again. There's a difference. So how can I... If you've not paid me to put it back together again, like Humpty Dumpty,
Yeah.
and you've just shown something demolished, then he's actually done half the job that he said he was going to do.
Yeah.
You haven't paid... But anyway, we digress. What I'm trying to say is... The council, the name council or the badge council, like the police, that title has been abused by the wrong people.
Okay.
Yeah? Because the council itself is a business. If it doesn't make any money, then the community doesn't get served proper. However, itself, if it's not policed, is doing exactly what it's doing, which is absolutely peeing any money that gets up the wall through admin and all this.
Make it car park, yeah?
How come I don't get one of those contracts, man? I like my diggers. Everybody knows I like my diggers. I'm dealing with the
space. Car
Your
park,
opinion.
man.
Your opinion.
Think of it. Like, you can make the same car park somewhere else, yeah, but the position where on Huddersfield Road.
Yeah.
That little car park that they make. That used to be a roundabout. Remember? Huddersfield Road, Union Street, King Street.
Oh, cha. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
That
yeah,
way.
yeah.
They could have made something really better, good, something all could be proud of.
This is
But they
now.
made it about the car park.
That's because you got coattail councillors. Do you know what I mean by coattail councillors?
Go.
Lengurudoria.
Ah,
What does that mean?
I don't know. Explain, please.
Coattail is people who were in the, who were, the proper influences, the people of, I'm not going to use the word power because power is the wrong word.
Is it?
And this is very, very, you as the people should stop using the word power. Influence, yes. Influence, yes.
People in position.
People of position, there you go. When you say position and power, it's two different things. Power means you give them all, you give them. Remember, we're off camera, we're having a conversation about the pen and the
The spade.
shovel.
Shovel,
Yeah?
yeah, go on.
When you give someone power, what are you giving them over really?
Your life.
Exactly.
It's truth on it.
Yeah. But if you give somebody a position, yeah,
Elected.
or by appointment,
Yeah, what the?
you asked about Muhammad Ali. Well, answer about what Muhammad Ali is. You give somebody a position, responsibility, what are you actually asking of them?
Trust, really, isn't it?
No.
Trust
no.
that you-
Trust has already been established. Hence the reason why you've been in conversation with that person. Think about it logically.
I'm trying to.
Think about it logically.
I'm trying to think.
Now
how-
this is.
what you want me to say.
I don't
And-
want you to.
or-
I want you
what
to
you
say what
expecting me to
you
say.
you as a human being, you as a son, you as a friend of a friend.
Right.
Not my friend personally, but you as a human being outside
Friend
of the
to somebody else, right.
Yeah, friend to somebody else, husband to somebody else. I'm presuming, and father of somebody else. I'm presuming. Yeah.
Please don't assume.
No. But I can't. We can't be thinking. Can you see what I'm saying? Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Now
I
you're
get
talking
it.
to Muhammad Ali here.
Hence-
Hence the reason why I don't give myself, oh, I'm a local prominent businessman. I've been doing it for 30 years. I'm a revoltone. Yeah, because I've been doing it for 30 years. Doesn't mean I've done it right for 30 years. It just means I've been doing it for 30 years. And that's what's going to happen in come May of 2023. You're going to get people who said, I've been doing this for 20 years, 30 years. They're not going to say we've been doing it right for 20, 30
Okay.
years. But however,
do the councillors like you?
of course they do.
Not the way I see it.
They just don't like the way I'm not keeping them accountable for their own self.
Exactly.
So therefore, they still like me,
But
but they just realized they started a fight with the wrong person because they use the word starts with a P ends with an R.
let me see.
Yeah, because
You
what has
mean powder?
yeah. No, that's what somebody said. An individual self. We did powder. It was jalebi.
And you love it,
Yeah, we did plain flour.
But from what I see, you're very outspoken.
No, I had to be outspoken
Okay, you had to be. Why do you feel like that you had to be outspoken?
because when I was kind, simple, and I kept to myself, I did everything behind the scenes. And I didn't take no credit for it.
But now,
Now-
you've adopted another approach
I've had to approach, yes.
to
because-
steer yourself to a more clear path, so that you're not accused or alleged
Yeah.
so many times because you,
Yeah,
'cause you received a lot of allegations in the past.
I've received so many.
Because maybe you've been quiet, maybe.
Because I've been quiet. Because one of our teachings is to, between two people,
When you give, the other hand shouldn't know that you've given, sort of thing.
charity.
Charity.
You're talking about charity there.
Yeah, yeah.
However, in our community, how is charity now presented?
So is shown on Facebook so that we're giving, look, we're here helping, I'll take a photo of it, show that.
Yeah, who
I
said?
remember, I remember that when I used to work for a lot of charities and there's the whole events, right? And I used to come with the camera and stuff and document everything. You see certain councillors or MPs coming at the right time, right moment to take a photo. So I think, look here, we're here, doing this thing for good thing for all for a good cause. As soon as the event's finished, they're off, and all the hard work, all the guys who are actually real volunteers, putting their blood, sweat, and tears in, they're doing the work, but the MPs and councillors are nowhere to be seen.
Have taken credit for all
Exactly,
their work,
yeah.
and they've used that positions to bolster theirs. Tigani.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is you've just given your example. You've just
My
given,
example, yeah.
We've not even spoken
From the
about.
limited experience that I have.
Yeah.
But you've been in the thick of it, but behind the scenes.
Yeah. Because I was raised on their laps. Remember, when Featherstone, Oldham was being established, there was only a handful of people that were the forefathers of the town.
Yeah.
For the Bangladeshi community.
Yeah.
Some certain people, Sylheti. And I know who you are, yeah? You'd be like, no, you can't say the word Bangladeshi. It's got to be Sylheti. Or Shabdavasha, or whatever.
Whatever.
Very rare I speak it. Abba Mara for it, then I've stopped speaking Bangla because dunyar mat with your mother is not very nice. You should be protecting your mothers from the hardships of this world because they've raised you.
You stopped speaking Bangla?
Yeah.
Why?
Sylheti. Bangla with anybody.
Why?
Because who do I talk to? Who has any
I mean,
work?
you've had to speak
who's
English because there's nobody else to speak Bangla with, is it?
Yeah.
Or you've left to speak only English because...
Because why else am I on this podcast?
No, I get that.
No. Think about it logically, what I've just said.
No.
Yeah. Because everybody I've dealt with has been...
Most of my viewers are English speaking.
Yeah.
And not all of them are going to be Muslims or Bengalis or Pakistani or whatever they are.
Yeah.
They're all... Even our kids are English speaking people. They barely even know their own language.
Yeah.
Their
mother tongue. The mother tongue. The
yeah.
grandparents' tongue.
Yeah.
Because obviously...
So hence the English.
Yeah.
There's no hidden agenda behind
no agenda.
why English and why Bangla and I haven't got nothing to do with all that.
No.
It's just that we're incompetent in speaking our own language.
Yeah. No. And it's not... Incompetence is only when you don't take advantage of the resources that you had. That makes you incompetent. Not
I have an issue with that.
By all means.
Because is it our fault that we don't know our own language? The way it should be done.
You know you're starting a
Writing, reading, and speaking.
Are you sure you want me to answer that?
Go for it.
I can only go in off your resources, yeah? But...
Oldham resources. This is where I'm from.
Are we going to get Oldham, yeah? Featherstone
Oldham.
Road?
No. Oldham.
Oldham Millennium Centre. What was before then?
Okay, go on. Yes, it's true. You're right. Go on.
Oldham Bangladeshi Cultural Centre.
Yeah, exactly.
OBA.
Yeah.
Yeah? Before I came along on social media, you know how many wars there were fought on Oldham? The roads of Featherstone Road.
Between families and what?
Satya Noka.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Bishnati Nobi Ganji Bishnati.
The boat and the umbrella.
Yeah.
Right?
The boat and the umbrella.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? You know Shurma's... you know what Shurma is? The restaurant.
Shurma is the river in Bangladesh.
River in Bangladesh,
Right,
yeah. That from being from Sato, the Shurma Nodi is a key lifeline of the area economically because...
Just thinking, just stop there. Is there any terminology that you're not aware of? I'm not clarifying. Please put in the comments. I'll clarify you.
There's going to be a lot of comments.
Satok and Shurma and all these things coming by.
It's like like Salford has that river key, the key, and that's a major form of transportation because of the canals. Shurma is that. Yeah.
So it was one of the most famous.
One of the most famous rivers.
Yeah.
The Satya Noka fights that were happening, and Dad's the Shurma name. It also had a motif of a boat on it.
Right.
So people thought Dad was part of that. Right. So people started boycotting Dad. And when we heard, this is the thing, you know, when you heard about so much stuff about me and on the social, that's the first time I hear about him.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's the same thing. It's history repeating itself. It's just the next generation.
That's probably people.
Yeah. So
that gives me an inclination, right? or implies that you don't talk to, or people don't approach you and say anything to your face.
They don't say anything to my face.
And that gives me another clue that people are afraid of you. That people are afraid of you. If they're not willing to talk to you directly and speak their mind to you, I mean, people are very hesitant and very cautious around you.
Yeah. Because you forget who my uncles are.
See, I don't feel like that around you.
Nobody does. Nobody does because they'll say, "Well, you haven't given the keys to your house. You haven't got him to build anything yet." Then you'll see the other side of him. That's what they're going to use as an excuse. But when I say, listen, when we sat down with the proper authorities and we devised the plan, planning this, that, the other, and we devised the payment schedule as well, and you agree to it, and then you, after starting the works, change the instruction, who's at fault?
I don't know. People? The
No,
homeowners?
the
or
home-
third
yeah.
party? Who is it?
You,
Homeowners, yeah?
because you're the one who gave instruction.
Right.
Whoever gives the instruction is liable and responsible for the change of contract.
Don't they pay you to clarify all that because you're the expert? They're not the expert. So you take the
No.
you take the instruction and you formulate it in a proper manner on paper.
No, do you know what? That is a fantastic podcast for another day.
Probably is, yeah.
That is because what it does. The reason why I went, if you look at the geography of Featherstone Road, yeah, from 1990.
We're going all over here. We're going to Bangladeshi politics, the umbrella and the boat, the
Yeah.
building work. We're going all over the place. But
Because, like I said, I
it's
was very
again, you're very
I was-
confusing to pinpoint and how to talk to. It's like very difficult
haven't
to
started, yeah.
pinpoint who you are, what you do. It's hard because all of it is you,
I don't use the word entrepreneur.
and none of it's you.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
That's because I've lived a very beautiful life.
MashaAllah. May Allah keep you blessed.
I have. And
May
I
Allah
continue.
keep you blessed.
I mean,
Yeah.
however, I've lost a lot more than what I've been blessed with.
That's what people don't see in it.
That's
Because
what
you
not.
once told me that if I may add here,
Go for it. Go for it.
that you even though you're this individual in the public eye, you have been also struggling due to these
Of course.
allegations and misrepresentations.
Misrepresentations.
But you've been struggling.
A hell of a lot.
Could you just tell me about that a bit?
There's one thing about me is our people are very, very vindictive. There's a venom in Oldham. Oldham is very, very broken. All the elders have now gone
Who kept it together?
who kept it together. Even when something was done wrong, the elders banded together and said, listen, fair enough, there's an admission of wrongdoing. But how do we move forward and continue on? Because there's two human beings, yeah, and they've all got families. Be it by greed, by accident, something's gone wrong. Let's not put another man on the street. That's how the elders dealt with it. Even when they caught out the one that did the wrong, because they used to say, give that person hidayah, because sometimes guidance, yeah, because sometimes greed gets the better of us, sometimes hunger gets the better of us.
And sometimes because of the love and attention that you get from elders, it sort of
No, because the elders
helps you.
no, because the elders knew they came from a place of nothing. Our elders were born East Pakistani, but they escaped a war, a civil war.
Let's not get into that at the moment, yeah?
No. Remember, we're talking about propriety here, properness, how to conduct ourselves, how to carry ourselves, how to even deal when things go wrong. That's where the elders came from. Now, it's about burying everybody. I'm going to absolutely bury him. And I don't care if we take his family with him. Because he's wronged my family. An eye for an eye. That's what they see it as. Even though they're the ones in the wrong, but because they've got other people on their side,
They have the upper hand.
they have the upper hand. And anybody that knows Bangladeshi politics,
It's dirty.
street politics, yeah, is dirty. It's venomous. It's cancerous. And
I've not had direct involvement in those sort of politics.
that's because you
Only what I've heard
Yeah.
and seen a little as well.
because most of the muftis and maulanas were protected from it.
Yeah.
Most of the muftis and maulanas from 1999,
Scholars.
the scholars. No, I'm not gonna say. I'm just gonna say Mufti Mayyad because that's the
Oh,
titles.
it's also only for the viewers to
Oh, the scholars.
associate. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The scholars.
The people that go to Islamic universities and they get certain titles
Titles.
from how according to their academia.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you got professors, you got a normal teacher, you've got this, that, the other. It's the same thing in the Islamic people that study Islam as a profession. So what's happened is most of the ones that went to madrasa and everything lived in a bubble. They came, they stayed at, mum and dad paid for their education. They came out and they did maktab. It was in a bubble. The only time life hit them really is when either they got married or they were gone out to the outside world, and then they realized life ain't as life isn't as easy as it was when it's in madrasa. So
It's not black and white.
it's not black and white. There's a lot of greys, and for us, there's a lot of
The
browns.
grey is bigger than the black and white.
For us, there's a lot of browns. Yeah, for more than 50 shades. Now, before we start mumbling and start chatting, give me a better question so I can hone a better answer, because people are still not understanding what Muhammad Ali does.
Well, I want to start off. What I asked you before.
Give me a year.
What are you struggling with?
Oh, you're talking about my struggles
Because
financially.
financially,
Oh, yeah.
mentally as well, right? Because even though you're in the public eye, it must take a toll.
Oh, let me put it
It
this
must
way.
take a toll.
I hid and I buried away everything that caused. They say there's no smoke without fire. Yeah? Hence the reason why there's a massive doubt, grey cloud about Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Always has been. From 2008. 2004 I was called a trouble causer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was from 2004.
I think you still are.
Yeah, because when I closed the restaurant, Shurma, because it sold alcohol,
Yeah.
the ones that actually started the fire, yeah, there's the one who, that's where it started from 2004. Before then, I was everybody's best friend.
Yeah.
I was everybody's best friend.
I can see that.
Yeah, but from 2004, when I closed the restaurant, and I knew where Feather Store was going, because I had the blessings of certain foresights and certain privileges, and I had my mum's prayers. Yeah, and the elders were still alive. The forefathers, they were still alive, most of them. I used to sit in their council. I never sat with councillors. The councillors always sat with me. I don't sit with councillors.
They sit with you.
They want to be seen with me. They don't sit with me because I represent something
To cherish.
they hide away from. Responsibility.
That's simple.
They want the badge.
Without the heavy lifting.
How many of them actually have done the work that I've done? Toe to toe, and these are the councillors. I'm 41 now, yeah? Toe to toe to the existing councillors and wannabe councillors who are going to be putting themselves toe to toe with them. And it's not a competition, but it's about accountability and responsibility and what's it called? What qualifies you to be in that position? I never put myself there.
They get the votes.
That's how they get the.
They
That's how
go
they get
around putting leaflets, take photos, and they go to door to door.
No. Take photos of what exactly?
Of themselves. I don't know, cleaning, holding a brush,
Yeah, and
holding a banner.
yeah, and
I don't know. That's what I think.
how does that quantify you to be good at being a counsellor?
People are easily swayed, in my opinion.
Yeah, but how many times have you seen me going around sweeping and standing? And
Never.
Yeah, you have. I do at work every day.
That's for your work, innit? That's a job.
That's my ibadah.
You can turn your work into a ibadah, like a worship. Yeah. Like everybody else does, by the way. Not just yourself.
No, I'm not saying
Everybody who works and got a job
Yeah.
and thinks of it as a form of worship because they're feeding their family, also ibadah.
Fantastic.
So what puts you out of that? Like, So these, I don't know, councillors, MPs, whoever, when they get votes, they go out there and they hold a brush, they take a photo, they do certain things
So basically,
to get the votes.
these guys take the limelight off the people that are actually really doing it.
I may be simplifying it a little extra, but
Yeah.
you know, but obviously, but you get it.
All right, toe to toe, from the councillors that are now. However, how many of them can put themselves in my shoes?
To be honest with you,
None of them.
I don't know the answer for that.
I can tell you because I've sat with them. Who started the fire?
What is the fire? Because you're referring to a metaphor.
Yeah.
But I want to know what the fire is.
They say about Muhammad Ali and they say it's controversial.
His controversial.
It's controversial.
Who started that fire?
Who started that fire?
I have no idea.
Remember when my face was put on 2022? In March 2022. That's when the shackles came off finally.
Wow.
Because that person never told the truth. He only told he told enough to get Oldham riled up. And then he used his mother to abuse that thingy to get people even extra angry. And then he used something that they had no idea that I buried a long, long time ago as ammunition as well, which was Central Mosque and Neville Street Mosque. I don't even know what the bloody place is called now. It's that
Now,
one and
I
Neville.
don't usually mention mosques or,
No,
any,
but I can.
or any establishments.
Yeah,
But in this case, I think it needs to be mentioned.
yeah.
Which mosque is all about? Because I feel very strongly about this.
Yeah.
Is that when mosques are meant to be neutral ground for all people.
You think
But
that
that mosque has been used as a platform
abused
to get
No.
votes or
No,
power or whatever.
abused.
Abused,
I use the word abused.
right?
Yeah.
But it's been used as a platform
Oh yeah, it's been used for platform.
by a particular party.
Yeah.
Let's not mention which party because it was maybe too obvious then.
Do you have a rose by any chance?
Say again?
Do you have a box of tissue? Do you have a box of thingy sweets?
No, sorry about that.
I wish it was Valentine's Day. But anyway,
But what's going on?
that's what the fight started.
You're on the inside, I think.
Yeah.
Or you know a lot more than you actually portray.
I don't tell everything. Because, like social media, it's not just social media as in Facebook and things like that. A lot of people are just there as moviegoers. They're there for the entertainment, yeah? And I'm not there about the entertainment. Otherwise, I would have gone on social a long time ago.
Of course.
I'm born and bred here. I'm educated here. I know how to press enter on a keyboard. Yeah, I know how to use a pen. I know how to use a phone. I'm quite hip and trendy. But I didn't use it. I only started using social media after the people that abused the town, their positions, used a masjids to benefit themselves and a party that has a whip in it, by the way, and muddied the. Well, we're going to use the word mosque purely because we're practicing Muslims, yeah? It could be church, it could be gurdwaras, it could be anything of a place of practice, a place of worship, yeah? They've used certain individuals and their gang, their merry men, I call it, have used these places for their own political gain. I never said anything back then because the world wasn't seeing that. Everybody was drinking the Kool-Aid at the time. Everybody was besotted with this mosque being built finally after 20 odd years.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But what happens is we're a creature of habit. The community is a creature of habit. Yeah. March 2022, everybody was after me. And then it all died down eventually. Yeah. And they'll do that for the next person. Like they got the pitchforks out. 2016, the elections come, pitchforks out. 2018, the elections come out, pitchforks out, and then everything dies down again.
Who are they after?
Oh, it's whoever's the topic of the day.
Do you remember anyone specific?
Just watch on socials. You can go back to PBTV has been a blessing in disguise. It's a Facebook television. They call it the people, the people's voice. Or was it a voice of the people? And
Right.
they've been a blessing in disguise. Though they are pro rose fetchers.
What?
Yeah, rose fetchers. They give out rose thing. They're pro rose. Yeah. They've
I have no
actually
idea what that means.
the people certain individual will.
What?
I talk in riddles and certain things.
I don't know about what the hell's going on here.
Yeah? Because
I put a jigsaw puzzle on a moving train. Like, what's going on?
to keep up with me is not easy. This is why my little brothers and all them, they get really angry with me. Because I can't give a simple answer because I'm not dealing with straightforward people. Dad was very straightforward. Dealing with my dad was
You
beautiful.
just said I'm not straightforward.
No, you're confused.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The customers that I dealt with have tried to muddy the waters. They try to play politics
Right.
and they've been caught out.
Okay.
Because what they've done is they've made a promise, broken the promise, and then tried to put the blame on somebody that was innocent.
Okay.
That's what's going on in Oldham. The politicians are doing that brilliantly right now. Because they said without certain politicians, certain people in those positions, then we'll never get a masjid. I put out a letter that was dated 2008 when the what do you call it? The mosque committee, head of the committee, wrote to the council and asked them to do their bidding. And because I was by accident, in my life, I was always at the right time for the wrong thing. So I witnessed it all. Beholds to me is they were using my name behind the scenes to fondle the books.
Which books?
The mosque committee books, the finances.
And to do what? More money in the pocket?
If you want to call it that. I don't know exactly. But all I know, my name started appearing on stuff that should never been on there. And then I find out...
Were you the escape? Were you the
No.
fall person?
Before then, there was Munnan Hazi. He was a fall person.
Munnan Hazi was...
Nur Jahan guy.
Right, got you.
Yeah. He was one of the founders of Oldham. Like I said, it's the Lengur, the people of the coattails, are trying to get themselves into position and rewrite Oldham's history. So when I found out, and I'm like, why are you using my name for this stuff? You want to do that, by all means do it. But do it on your own businesses. Don't use the mosque.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's a
But
hypocrisy.
the mosque been hijacked though. The people in mosque, yeah, I'm gonna say this quite openly and
Please, go for it.
and this
You can only say
this
your
also
words.
my opinion as well, yeah. So take it with a grain of salt, guys. Is that people who are in position in mosques, allowing them, using them for their own benefit. So there's a mutual benefit here that's going on. That the MPs, councillors, or party, whatever who they are,
We'll
yeah,
come to MPs later.
are using. Am I not saying MPs?
You use that at the wrong time.
Wrong time. Okay, so it's just councillors here. I'm just mentioning that.
Go for it, yeah.
Councillors using the mosque platform, trustees allowing that to happen. The whole mosque has been hijacked then.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's not a misuse where, oh, we didn't know, they did this, sorry, my bad. You know what I mean?
It was by design.
Exactly, by design.
All humans make mistakes. There's not one single human being that said they've lived a perfect life.
Yeah, which is okay. Which is
By
okay,
design,
yeah.
we're supposed to make mistakes and seek forgiveness, repentance, and get knowledge
So
from it.
this is very, like I said, by design, on purpose, thing that's happening at Central Mosque, I think. And
This one is the best example. prime
Who is
example.
there? Who is there to because all, like I said, all the forefathers, the elders, all the community leaders who were back then anyway, who stood up for what's right and always there to help and do like choose a path which is the best path for the whole community. But I think that people are blind now, man. They're blinded,
people find convenience.
lazy.
You call it whatever.
And
name you want it
our youth are being
to. You know who the victims are?
are losing out.
They're the victims.
Exactly,
The youth are the victims.
Youth are the victims.
Yeah. because I was speaking out, because I was finding out firsthand. Because one thing is, when you hear things, like you're giving me this opportunity to answer for it. Yeah?
Everyone should be, yeah. Everyone should.
Yeah. And you're not being biased. You're not taking my side, even though we've known each other for a couple of years. You're not taking the people that you've not come with anger. You've
We're
not
not
said,
that close where I'm going to choose your side. You know
no,
what I mean?
exactly.
We know each other enough where
Yeah.
I can approach you and
Yeah,
ask
and
you.
have a conversation.
Have a-
and
yeah,
have,
have a little talk, yeah.
have an adult conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. They once I put it this way, yeah, I was part of the building of that place from 2008 onwards.
Right.
Before then, we heard so much stuff. This is going back before when you were a little bambino. Yeah, so much stuff we
We're
heard.
not that different, by the way. About
Yeah.
4 years different, by the
No, no,
4
but
years difference.
we're all bambinos then. We're all small. Bambinos is baby, by the way, not from Bambi the cartoon, just in case. No, anyway, it's another topic that you could have a whole another conversation about, and we're
I'm going to carry on as long as it takes.
no, it's
mate.
not about how long as it
Today is
takes.
a very special podcast. I actually have no idea what we're talking about, but we're talking about a lot of things.
That's because I'm a lot of things to know.
I know.
And also nothing.
Can't pinpoint
You
where
can't.
because it's all intertwined with each other.
Featherstone Road.
Everything has a connection with
Put it
everything.
this way, to simplify it, Featherstone Road is me, and me is Featherstone Road, and it's by accident. My blood is on the streets of Featherstone Road, and it was there. And I'm not a martyr. I'm not gonna say I'm a martyr, this like the other. But if I die tomorrow, right now, if I drop dead, I will drop dead with a smile on my face, because everybody is living with the promise of tomorrow. Do you know what that means? Yeah. Did you know that when you were gonna have your heart attack?
I didn't have a heart attack.
No, what did you have? That heart condition? Did you ever? What did you have?
I had a stroke.
Stroke, heart attacks. Pardon me. Yeah. You had a stroke at such a young age.
Right.
The people automatically, oh, he's had a stroke, he's had a heart. He must be in his 50s or 60s. When people accept that, they're like, at least he's lived a life. His sons are grown up, his kids are grown up. But when you were in your age and you had a stroke, wow, the outlook on tomorrow is different. You make today countable. So if you are lucky that tomorrow you wake up and you don't have one side beset or like that at least you've got your resources in place, and you can say, at least I put all my ducks in one row. And that's what people are not doing. That's why people love Shamia, because it wasn't a false identity to anything.
Just to clarify, Shamia was a long takeaway, but
Shamia is the people.
Shamia is the people, exactly.
Shamia is the people.
Shamia is the people.
Shurma, listen.
Shamia is a main sort
If we're name dropping. Shurma restaurant. It was the river, one key river in Bangladesh that served. Guess what it was? The main industry in Shurma did transporting
textiles.
No,
Oh,
that's secondary. First one is what I do for a living. Move matti,
Well,
stones,
move
cement,
stones and
concrete,
bricks and all
cement,
that, yeah?
everything that to build a house,
Right.
to build a community. That's what Shurma was about.
Okay.
That was Dad's mentality. Yeah, because it was about the family, feeding the family,
Right. Building,
building,
connecting,
yeah,
growing,
the
developing.
the heart of the family.
Right.
And everybody that knew Dad before I was even conceived,
You see, that mentality is a dying thing now.
of course,
and,
it is.
and I would even say it's gone and it's
Yeah,
diminished.
it's gone.
That mentality
I'm the
of
last
how,
one.
how your dad had and the
I'm
elders
the
had.
last one. That's why people find it hard.
This is why I find it so interesting.
Yeah. Most of my friends, yeah, not the people I hanged around with,
Right.
were the elders. I used to go chill with them at the masjid. And there's some of the stories that they used to tell me, man, were phenomenal. What you hear about, what you see on social right now, Insta and all that, man, they were doing it even wilder.
I've heard stories.
Yeah, you've heard stories. I was on their lap, and they showed me the scars. And I can show you the dirt of their last burial. My fingernails.
I want to hear all of it, man. But obviously,
No. But remember, I've been painted to be the bad guy. I'm the villain.
You're
Why?
like Batman, you know that? Batman from where Scarface or the guy with the two faces,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
He died and he was a bad guy eventually, but but
Yeah.
Batman was the fault for it.
No, exactly.
That's what he reminds me anyway. But
Yeah, 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 yeah.
let's digress.
And I was very fortunate that because I was a chubby kid, I was round, chubby, short. I'm everything that that man should have looked like. Yeah, when people describe somebody, how do you want your future
Future
person?
husband,
Yeah, yeah. When they describe your
son-in-law.
ideal fella to be look like, oh, tall, dark, handsome, blah blah blah. I was totally the opposite.
Neither dark,
Yeah,
neither tall.
neither tall,
But
dark.
you want a handsome guy though.
Yeah,
You want a handsome guy.
no, all that's to my
For
parents.
someone who's 41, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're a
Four
good
for
guy.
one?
MashaAllah. 41. How about, how old are you?
41, yeah, 41.
You're 41, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's because I went down. I went to Cutting Edge, by the way, for a haircut. So I did all the haircut. Yeah.
They gotta sponsor me now. They gotta sponsor me now.
What's it called?
Shout
Iqbal.
out to who?
Iqbal. Iqbal. So you know what? This is what I give love to my dad and people like him. Because the way he carried themselves, he had a lasting impact on people like the barber I just mentioned, Iqbal. He's got a little, not a little, subhanAllah. Actually, if you go see what he's done for such a young age,
Who?
it's called Iqbal. I have no idea what his surname is.
Is it what thing? Has he got
He's on Rochdale Road. You know when you go to Royton? Yeah. Cutting Edge is called.
cutting edge?
Yeah. And what he's done at such a young age to take on such a big building just to cut hair by
Seriously?
himself. And he does traditional hair cutting.
What does that mean?
Means he knows how to use.
I'm not going to
no,
barbers.
no. I'm talking about tajweed here. This is the problem people have with me. It's
Oh
like,
my God.
how the hell did he jump from haircutting to tajweed? And tajweed is the etiquette of reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, pronunciation in
Right.
the right manners.
Right.
Yeah, understanding on how to hold a verb, knowing the adjective of a
Let me just clarify a little bit. Yeah?
English literature.
Tajweed is a way of
Literature.
how to pronounce certain letters of Arabic the way it should be, and each letter is important the way it's pronounced. So that when sentences are formulated, you're not misconstruing or misinforming or misunderstanding what the words or sentences meant to be. So hence why the science of tajweed and pronunciation in Arabic is very important, and we teach it to our kids all the time and everywhere as well.
It's
Please
English,
carry on.
English literature, yeah?
Yeah.
But the English literature. But because of Arabic being such a profound language itself, yeah. If you pronounce one wrong, what happens?
The whole meaning changes.
The whole meaning changes. And when we're reading in Taraweeh and your Imam
Prayers, yeah.
in the prayer, especially during Ramadan, how much of an effect does that have? So it's like a domino effect, isn't it?
Right, okay.
So this is that's who Muhammad Ali is.
Haircut.
Haircut to that. He uses hand shears.
Hand shears.
Scissors.
Right.
He's a traditional barber.
Right.
And he uses hand shears. So everybody's head, even though hair, beard, blah blah blah, he understands the science of your head. So he can manipulate the way the scissors work and complement your head size. Can you see?
This may be a very ignorant way of
no,
saying
no.
it.
But you know,
But it's just a salon. It's a
Just a
haircut.
salon, exactly.
What's the big deal?
it's just a cross on a piece of paper.
It's just growing hair. How scientific?
When I
do you
were
have to be?
listen. Back in the days when our elders were here,
Right.
do you know how much pride they took in their appearance? And these guys used to work in factories only. Mati khatta.
Yeah. They did.
They presented themselves proper, and they had nothing. And everybody knew they came from nothing. But to the world, they were as strong as the next man.
It wasn't showing wealth. That was the point.
I didn't talk
It's
about wealth.
It's about showing smart, sophistication, and integrity. Let's just say.
They carried
Right.
they had a worth.
To
They
carry
gave
themselves in a very respectful manner.
they carried themselves with worth. Because they came from nothing. And what did they do? They left their mother and father back home
They did.
with the promise of trying to earn something to go give back. And they give charity far more than all this that you see on the socials. And they did it behind the family's back. They did it behind everybody's back because they had the love for the mother and father. And that in itself is the wrong thing. Not wrong, meaning that in itself is a flaw. When you love one child, when you love something far more than your own self, because you're taking accountability out of it. And he's the only barber that he took me by surprise because by chance I needed a haircut. I went to see him. I thought he was a kid. When he pulled out the scissors and he was so confident in using the scissors, and everybody else is using the machines, even grade 1, grade 2, blah, blah, blah. So I started studying him. I gave him 2-3 chances. Before then, I was at, another barber's English one in thingy, near the hospital. Not the hospital, library, HSBC Bank, Queen Street.
Oh, yeah.
They're traditionally taught barbers. They went to school. He then said, oh, I used to go barbering school. He went to college.
Right.
So he got trained how to use shears. Not many guys know how to do that.
I can appreciate that.
And that's I'm talking about in the Sylheti Bangladeshi community. Yeah? So I respect him. I big him up for that. And that was a couple of years ago. And now he's gone to an establishment. And even me at the age of 41 would make me would scare me to do that. Especially in this economic climate. So big up to the guy for inshallah he does well in his business.
Yeah.
I really do, but I'm not going to give him any more credit because in terms of building work, he's not going to give me any. So yeah, business. Well, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. But in terms of human thinking, the way he speaks about dad, before anything, he still carries that love for dad, and we talk about Shamia all day long.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about Shamia all day long, and it's exactly why Shamia was actually created. But what you don't know behind the scenes is how the building came about. And we go back to Featherstone Road and the politics and the non-politics of Featherstone Road. And we could have another podcast about it because who Muhammad Ali is Muhammad Ali is his son. He's the son of a shopkeeper, and I proudly openly say it. I'm proud to say I'm the son of a shopkeeper.